prep list of produce prep utensils and this version that needs to be isolated from everything else.
Hey guys, Mr. Knife Fanatic here. Today I have another knife from the Masakage line. This is the Koishi series 270 Gyuto. And just like the rest of Masakage's line, this is very thin behind the edge and has a great fit and finish on it. Really excited to try it out. I expect it to do very well. So here's some specs and cutting performance. This is a Aogami Super steel core, which is 63 to 65 Rockwell. A little bit about Aogami Super, very steep edge taking because it has a lot of added tungsten and vanadium, which also gives it more wear resistance. Very good stuff, some of our favorite steel in a knife world for kitchen knives. This is stainless clad, but also is Kuruchi finish, as you can see, which is a black finish. And Koishi series translates to pebbles, or river pebbles, which is this hand-hammered finish you see here. It has a very attractive touch to it, and also you will find it helps release food very easy. This is also, they refer to as sushimi finished, which is hammered, as you can see. So it is a Koishi sushimi. The handle is an octagon handle, very tight. It reminds me of a Swiss inox in a way, of how sharp the lines are, almost Konosuke fit and finish. Love it very much. Nice sharp bevel back here. And the handle is fit in very tight. Have our little decorative coin here we'll remove. This is a cherry wood handle with a black Pack-A-Wood ferrule, and that is going to be, a lot tougher than using another type of wood. Pack-A-Wood, very dense, very hard stuff. The blade length is 270 millimeters, but that is if you are measuring from here to the tip. If you actually measure from the bottom of the edge here, as you can see, the maki kind of curves down, it's 272. So give or take 2 millimeters. I don't think you're going to really argue on a knife quite this long. Let's just throw that up there real quick. As you can see. Alrighty. And it's 55 millimeters tall. I don't consider 55 millimeters to be terribly tall for a knife of this length. We can go back a little more there. There we go. 55 millimeters for a knife of this length is going to be considered medium to medium tall. I would say 60 or closer to 60 millimeters would be really tall for a knife this big. Under 50 is going to be getting short. So this is definitely, and it says 216 grams, not only medium height, also medium weight. This is not a heavy knife. I would say it approaches a heavier knife because it's such a big knife, but for 270 millimeter knife, this is only medium weight. It could be much heavier than this. I know some 8-inch knives that are that weigh that much. So the spine, 3.5 plus millimeters, but that's coming directly out of the tang, as you can see here. Once you get past the maki, that's already tapered down to 3 millimeters, and then you have 2.3 millimeters throughout most of the blade. And it actually holds that. Once you get towards the tip, it gets paper thin, as the grind gets paper thin behind the edge also. So the tip should fly through things. It has a very good convex grind on it. It's a 50-50 convex, what I call the convex laser grind, because it is convex to push food away, but behind the edge extremely thin. This is like the Richmond laser series in a way. So I expect it to perform very much like a Richmond laser. Very good. Balance point. Last thing we got to check here. Of course, it's going to be blade heavy. How blade heavy is she? There we go. That is going to be in relation to pinch grip. About right there. Yes. So it does a good bit in front of your pinch grip. Now keep that in mind. Before, as I said, weighted tip is going to give you a lot more chopping power getting through using the tip to chop. So I actually like that. I prefer that. And of course, the out-of-the-box edge is really awesome on these knives. Okay, so no problem there. Let's go ahead and get some ingredients on the board and see how she performs. I'm going to start off with a little bit of garlic just to kind of get warmed up here. It is a big knife. I'd like to feel the weight out first before I chop with it. As we can see, I'll just, I guess I'll do a pinch grip for most of this. It is a bigger knife. And just line a little garlic up. And see, we have a nice actual sweet spot all the way from here to here, which is enough to cover a lot of ingredients, and not much bigger ingredients than that. And a gentle sweep, I expect the tip to actually do a little bit of chopping, so we'll find that out in a little bit. Here we go. Everything, the garlic, sticky garlic releases off, so not too sticky of a knife. It's fine. And of course we have plenty of blade to get up all the ingredients in one scoop, like that. That's one of the benefits of having a big knife. Alrighty, now let's check the grind out real fast. As we said, it's a 50-50 convex. It should be non-stick. Very non-stick. Let's see again. A little bit of water stiction there, but it is relatively non-stick still. You do have such a thin grind behind the edge. If it gets wet enough, any potato will stick if it's wet enough. And I really mean any knife will stick on that circumstance. But actually sticking into the board a little bit there, but the knife is still fairly nimble. There we go. We will try to do our onion as we start off with the dice. There we go. Wow, the grind slides through. I mean, that is a killer grind up front. I really like that a lot. Very, very nice. We're not going to chop that one just yet. I guess just to show you that we can get over both halves at once. Again, killer thin behind the edge. It's scary when you're using these laser ground knives sometimes. They'll get away from you if you're not careful. And as we can see, we'll get through both halves of the onion, no problem. Not going to do that because I'd rather chop them for you. So I'll do my racket grip as I'm more comfortable with that. This actually wants to stick into the board, believe it or not. I mean, as you can see though, it just falls through. Plenty of blade weight and plenty of thinness behind the edge. Basically the knife does all the work for you. Just go ahead and get rid of this one too. Pinch grip. Very nice. This is a lot of knife right here. I'll tell you, for a home user, it's probably going to be a bit much, but if you're going to bring this into a restaurant to prep with, oh my, let me tell you what, there's not much that's going to stand in your way. This right here will, I can't really see anything standing in the way of this knife. It has enough blade weight that I see this working great on harder ingredients. And I actually have a small carrot here to try that out first. Get our board cleaned off. I will make a little bit of a note about the Koishi finish. Sometimes they do have a little bit more friction on them sometimes. This knife is so thin that it's not really suffering from any friction problems, and you can see it does clean off extremely well. So, here we go. No problem there, making little thin slices. Chop with the tip a little here for you, pinch grip. Very, very nice. Wow. Like I said, the weight up front makes the tip of this knife just killer. I mean, honestly, when you're going to be using such a big knife like this, you're probably going to be using the tip of this a lot to do a lot of detail work. There are not many ingredients that are this big, you know, that the power portion of your knife is down here. You do all your power chopping closer towards your hand. So, yeah, this is a big, powerful knife. I wish I had some onions a little bit bigger, but work with what we have today. Wow. See that? Yeah, that's good. That's real good. I like that. Okay. Does excellent against harder ingredients, just like I thought it was going to. Something about the stiffness of a knife, and you can tell this is a very stiff knife. It does not flex. Another quick note too, as you can see the spine is actually polished, and so is the choil is nice and eased. A lot of Karuchi knives pass up that detail. This one didn't. Excellent fit and finish. Thumbs up to the Masakage team. I love your knives, guys. And as you can see, a big 270 is not too big of a knife to do your little matchsticks with. I'm not going for precision here. We're just getting these out off my board. So. Very, very nice. And lastly, we got a little bit of celery here. Let me get rid of the tips on these. So I'll just kind of chop the tips again to show you some more tip action. Big fan of that. Wow, that's awesome. And then we also have a little rocking action. I'll do a little slower rock for you when I break these down. As you can see, plenty long enough to get most celery stalks without any trouble. You can just kind of rock down on it. And super thin behind the edge, so you know, rocking through this is really just child's play for the knife. I'm going to do it without holding it and see what happens. So that's when you have a real thin knife, you can get away with doing that sometimes. Actually, I like to chop onions with one hand sometimes. But, yep. As you can see, she screams. I'm actually holding back a lot. This is so much knife that you don't want to get crazy with this thing because it will get away from you. It is a big, thin, crazy sharp, dangerous, lovely chef's knife. So guys, I'm impressed again by Masakage knives. Please give them a look. Some of the best I've used. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned and stay sharp.